Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sly Fox Sports podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Miller, and this is Aaron Nix, the co-host with the mo-host.
The co-host with the mostest COVID.
Yeah. And we're going to talk some Champions League review.
Soccer, man. Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Some of that European soccer ball.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right. Yeah, Champions League this week.
Yep.
2 nights of high-quality fixtures with very little in the way of interest.
We do know a lot of the quarterfinal teams now.
We do, yes.
Which
we'll
figured
wrap those up as
we
go.
figured a lot of those were going to be happening. Yeah, a lot of them were going to happen.
Most of them are very obvious names.
Yes. Let's start with Chelsea and Rennes.
Yeah, let's start with the absolute fucking barn burner that was Rennes versus Chelsea. Do you remember last time we spoke about the Champions League, Jeremy? Do you remember how much attitude you gave me about, Sevilla only just beat Krasnodar, even with 10 men. You watch as we fucking demolish everybody in this group. And literally, you needed fucking shenanigans to beat Rennes. Up yours, mate. You absolute cretins, mate. So I watched this game. I like Hudson-Odoi, to be fair, and I mentioned Mason Mount as well in the Premier League prediction. I quite like Mason Mount. When he plays well, I feel like this Chelsea team, they play a more complete game of football. And as much as I hate Chelsea fans who are detestable human beings and deplorable scum at the best of times, especially you cretin, they certainly have a very good footballing side, and I do believe them to be a title contender, and I have admitted as much. I do worry that they might actually do well in the Champions League. However, watching games like this makes me think otherwise. To be fair to Rennes, they gave Chelsea their best shot. And
yes, they did.
You can scoff at these smaller teams all you want, but I said from the very first fucking review that these little teams, especially with COVID being in place, without there being these big bang crowds, they're taking advantage of this. And a lot of them won't make it, but they'll make it difficult on the way. A really good example of that, is Istanbul Başakşehir.
Yeah.
So, I think Rennes suck. I do. But I thought they played probably their best game of football. Their goalkeeper, Gomis, was fantastic in this game. Made a gorgeous save from Mason Mount in the near post. Stunning
they
save.
definitely did not. When they let Edouard Mendy go to Chelsea, they did not lose a lot of quality in net because Gomis just, some of those saves. If it wasn't for him, it would be like 4-0.
This was this should have been a 1-1 draw, simply put, unless Giroud pops up right at the death. It's interesting because apparently he's going to be let go in the transfer window. So there he is. There he is.
Frank Lampard said that he's going to be used more often, or he's going to be used.
Yeah, Frank Lampard said that. He's not going to come out and say, yeah, I'll get rid of my high-profile, large French striker. Like, ultimately, Giroud wants out. And he said as much as well in statements. Giroud wants out, and I think he'll get out as well because he's not going to play first-team football.
No,
You've got Timo Werner and, all the other, and Ziyech and all that lot running around. He's just not. He's a very impactful player, Giroud, but he sees himself as more of a starting player as opposed to an impact sub. Great goal, great header. It was a heartbreaker if you're a Rennes fan or if you're a fan of the underdogs because they battled so hard, got themselves back into the game with a stunning header. Should have had a goal before that as well. Point blank header straight at Mendy. Everyone's making out like Mendy made a great save, which he did. But at the same time, you put it either side of the keeper and you've scored, and it's directly at him. I really like Mendy as a reactionary keeper. I don't think he's the greatest keeper of all time. Everyone's making him out to be the second coming of Dino Zoff. But I do think he's a very good shot stopper and he's very athletic. He's he's a good reflexologist when it comes to being a goalkeeper. But
he reminds me of a younger version of Kasper Schmeichel. And during Leicester's,
slightly more whiter.
Well, during Leicester's title run, Schmeichel made some of the most amazing saves to keep Leicester in it, and that's what Mendy reminds me of for Chelsea.
I mean, Mendy will certainly help make the difference as to whether you are a title contender or not. I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the league, but I do
No.
think he's definitely up there as one of the better ones. He's certainly a slightly better than Kepa. A little bit. It'd be interesting. Kepa will probably end up going to like West Ham or something and have like a worldie, like knowing him. That's what they did with. Remember Fabianski? We all scoffed and chortled at Fabianski, and now he's fucking genuinely quite good. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of it is getting out of these high-profile situations with high-profile teams, and they end up feeling, less pressurized to play good football. But yeah, Chelsea ultimately they won. There's not much else I can say about that. The reality is that although they played very poorly in the second half, they still got the win, and they had the quality when it mattered. So.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll have, they're through now as well. I don't think they were going to have any problems qualifying along with my boys.
We figured it was going to be you and I in the Champions
You're
League.
very lucky that Chelsea play Sevilla last, don't they? I think in the group stage, so that kind of helps as well because by that point that game might be a bit redundant. So it's unless
we might be seeing some scrubs out on the field for both teams.
What a lot of teams might be looking at this draw as well because there's a lot of really strong teams that happen to be in second place right now. And if you're in first place, you might consider wanting to drop into second because you might get a slightly easier game in the knockout stages. Because these teams that have caused an upset or have surprised people, by, for instance, like Shakhtar beating Real Madrid. If Real Madrid finished second, yeah, okay. Real Madrid haven't played as well, but do you really want to draw Real Madrid if you finish first in your group? Not really. Not when you could run into someone like Porto or someone of that nature. So it can be a bit of a sort of a toss-up. I remember going to a Porto-Arsenal game many, many moons ago, and both teams were level on points going into it, and they basically just played out the world's worst 0-0 draw because neither team. They were literally there was a point where Porto had a chance to score and stop themselves and walk backwards. It's an absolute fix. Like, we're both going through. Why mess it up for one another? So we'll see how it goes. But Chelsea get a win. That's the most important thing. What's up next, brother?
Sevilla and Kranjador. I mean,
same, very much. Take the format and the equilibrium of what happened in the Chelsea game and drop it into the Sevilla game. Ultimately, it comes down to who had the most quality. That's it. Sevilla didn't play fantastically well, but they had enough to beat them. Ivan Rakitic, like him, nice player. I will say one thing, Krasnodar's crowd really rattled Sevilla at points. You could definitely tell that because they're one of the very few clubs in the Champions League that have a semi-packed stadium. Well, that half a stadium for it. It certainly looks that way. And, as you know, with Eastern Bloc fans, they're pretty rabid. The flares are out, everything else.
Absolutely.
And, Sevilla have a hardcore fan base as well. But, of course, Sevilla don't have any fans in because Spain is, really struggling with COVID.
Yeah.
Whereas Russia, Ukraine, all that, they don't give a shit. They're like, what is COVID? COVID does not exist. I drink much vodka, and then COVID not exist anymore. They're just angry and big bastards. COVID doesn't exist in the Eastern Bloc. I think it froze to death as soon as it got over the border. So they're just like, yeah, whatever. Apart from Locomotive, who got, in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Which is not a surprise when you chuck 20-odd thousand in your stadium. But, yeah, no, Ivan Rakitic scored, which I'm very happy about. I'm really pleased that Rakitic has come home. I think he'll make the difference, not just in Champions League, actually in the league as well. I don't know for anyone who's seen the La Liga table, it is crazy at the moment. It's like...
Well, isn't Real Sociedad
Real Sociopath are number
Sociopath,
one.
yeah.
Sociopath. Yep.
That's the biggest shock.
Right up there. Real Madrid are like 6th or 7th at the moment.
That's because they keep losing.
Well, yeah,
They can't beat Cadiz nuts.
That's kind of how football works, mate. If you lose games, you tend not to go up the table as much. Thanks for the update, Big Ben. But yeah, Sevilla got the win, so I don't care. Good win. We almost got a bit shady, and then of course, exactly same as you, last minute fucking winner, which I obviously got naked for, and had my famous power wank, which was marvelous. And
that was a closey. That was a closey.
So was my power wank.
I bet it was.
It was.
Next we'll do Borussia Dortmund and Club Brugge.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, Dortmund with a 3-0 or 3-0.
3-0.
Shut up. 3-0 win.
3-0 or 3-0 as we like to call it.
3-0. Yeah.
You're going to learn eventually.
Erling Haaland for Dortmund.
Can I just say as well, by the way, Sevilla, by winning, actually go through along with Chelsea into the knockout
Yes.
stages. And I'm a little bit heartbroken because that means no Europa League. And I'm so used,
Well, that's
used
not.
to winning it.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
know, there is no Europa League now. We can't finish third. I really wanted us to deliberately finish third so we could drop in the Europa League because, as you know, Sevilla, it is a European mandate from the Geneva Convention that Sevilla must win the Europa League at least once every 2 years. As you might have noticed by the fact that we've won it 6 times in 12 years. Like, just go, come on, give us that trophy. Juicy. Like, it just can't help themselves. So bring back Freddie Canute. That's all I can say. But yeah, no, Dortmund beat Bruges. Bruges were one of those teams that I wanted to do well when things started. And I like their team. Very much like Salzburg. They're very organised. They don't have any fancy players. They just have players that like playing football. They play as a unit. But they were just overpowered by Dortmund. A lot of that comes down to Haaland, of course, who is just, once he's fit and raring to go, he's so dangerous, the Norwegian. Like, bloody hell, he could pretty much lead Norway to an international tournament by himself.
Could we say that Erling Haaland being in Dortmund paves the way for Sancho leaving come transfer window?
See, the problem is Sancho's lost a bit of his stock, hasn't he, in this season, where he's been a little bit of a misfire in the league. He hasn't scored as many goals as people would have liked. People are critiquing him. But then he does what he did in this game, which is that stonking free kick and reminds you that he has the quality. And ultimately, even if he doesn't play that well, he is kind of, or can be English.
Yes.
I think he might have an option to play for Germany as well if he chooses.
Because he's played in the German
nationalities.
So yeah.
He's, everyone's got some fucking great grandfather who was, in the Blitz or whatever. But
right.
Yeah, no, Sancho, because he's English, he will have a huge price tag regardless. And the fact that he's not under pressure playing in the Premier League, he probably likes that. I think the only thing that's going to draw him back here is a high level contract. You're going to throw a lot of money at him because why would you leave Dortmund and the relative quiet company that is, Germany for the insane, pressure of the British media, which will be on you every 5 minutes.
Yeah. I still think Sancho's leaving this summer.
Sancho.
But I do not think
Sancho.
I don't think he's going to go to United like everybody thinks.
Nah, he's coming to Fulham, mate.
No, I think honestly he might come to Everton or Arsenal. Because they could use him a lot more than United.
United won't get any use out of him. If there's one thing United don't need, it's good attacking players.
Exactly.
They need everything.
The only reason they wanted Sancho to come to United is so they
Chelsea will buy him just so they can stick him on the bench so that he can't play for anyone else. That's what Chelsea do.
Chelsea don't need him. We got Havertz.
Yeah, they didn't need Sean Wright-Phillips, but they had no problem spending a lot of money and sticking him on the bench.
That's true.
I know how Chelsea were. Roman Abramovich is like, I like a black player. He is nice, shiny toy. Put him in my toy box. Yes. I want very shiny toys. Yes. I strike oil. I buy Sancho and stick him in a box for a year. Good stuff. Fucking blood money cretin that he is.
Yeah. No, I think
that's Roman Abramovich. If I ever see you in public, I'm going to slap that dumb look off your Russian face.
You know where I think he would fit really well, and especially if they go into the Champions League? Southampton. Put him with Ward-Prowse.
That's a big if.
That's a big if.
Would you get your dick out of James Ward-Prowse's anus? Jesus Christ. That poor guy's never going to listen to this podcast. He's going to be like Jeremy Miller keeps ringing me up in the middle of the night. Oh, I love you, James.
No. You're the one that was praising a guy.
I was praising him. I wasn't fucking having mutual masturbation societies over the guy. Jesus. He's a good player.
Jesus.
Fucking you and your fantasies about you, Sancho, and James Ward-Prowse in a Saints threesome. Is it the religious connotations? Christ. Is that what makes you excited?
That's
horrible.
You were
once touched by a bishop.
No. You horrible person, you.
If you ask Roman, he'll probably do it for you.
Oh, fuck.
Mate, I will finger anything that has oil.
Oh, that's so bad.
It's so true, is what it is.
We've got Lazio and Zenit. Lazio winning 3-1.
Lazio boring. Yeah, you obviously opened up pretty ruthlessly about Lazio before the international break for some reason, because apparently you're angered by the concept of an Italian team that isn't Juventus. But
I'm
Got a
sick
couple
of
of very good players on that team who will no
yeah.
doubt be poached come
Ciro
transfer
Ciro
time.
Mobley for sure is going to be poached.
Yeah,
Possibly
I can see him going to
Correa.
the Spanish league. Immobile strikes me rather amusingly with a name like Immobile. He'll be incredibly mobile in the Spanish league. So
Yeah, I could definitely see Joaquin Correa
Joaquin,
going to say the Spanish league, maybe even German
maybe
league.
even FC Midtjylland
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe.
could do
Um,
Spanish league.
I just Lazio, because of the couple of guys that they have, they're in the big news and everything, and it's like, prove it. Prove that you belong in the headlines. And they're moving on to the round of 16.
Yeah. I must admit, it was nice to see Marco Parolo score. He's 35, and he's never scored a Champions League goal before. So, and if you think a player like that, you're running out of time, it's a nice moment. I know it's
Yeah.
against lower opposition, but it's nice. It's a good,
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's always nice to see the old men doing well. I say old men, he's the same age as me.
He's 2 years younger than or older than me. So, I mean, yeah, good on him to get his first Champions League goal. Next one we'll have is Dynamo Kiev and Barcelona, and this was just
right up the chicken Kievs, mate. That's what happened here. Barcelona threw out their reserve team and still gave them a bloody good thumbing. It's all about Braithwaite, mate, who came out of nowhere. I thought Braithwaite
Serginho Dest too, the U.S.
he's good. Really rapid. Nice little player. Right back as well. So for him to say, do you know what he reminds me of? A little bit of Bellerin, who plays for Arsenal, who was in the Barcelona academy as well. Very rapid, very fast, but obviously very questionable at the back in the tackle. But you ain't got to worry about tackling when you're facing a bunch of chicken Kiev, so it's not a problem. They gave it all they could, and they had nothing. That stadium looks miserably lonely when it's empty as well. That is a big ass stadium, and it is empty. The national stadium in Ukraine, like I just thought, fuck, know, it's it looked more cold and lonely than when I went there, to be honest. Yeah, it is what it is. What do you say? I was quite impressed. I think it's Braithwaite, isn't it? The guy who scored a brace.
Yep, Braithwaite.
Yeah, very interesting name for a Barcelona player. It came from Leganes, which was a real surprise because you were like, what are you doing? Why are you buying players from Leganes? I don't understand it. But to be fair, Kiev aren't incredible, opposition, but they are Champions League opposition. So for him to go out there and dominate the way he did on the forward line shows that they've got something. And they're probably looking at him thinking, when we're playing,
might have something
teams,
here.
Exactly. And if you're playing smaller teams like Cadiz Nuts, you're thinking, might be an opportunity to roll out Braithwaite. So, they need a bit of depth, Barca, because also, let's not forget, Messi's probably going to be on the out at the end of this.
For sure.
So you need goal scorers. And even if he's just a bit part player, he's going to come in and score the odd goal against, Grenadine or Cadiz Nuts or whatever, or Real Sociopath, he'll have an opportunity. So, good for him.
Serginho Dest became the first U.S. international to score for Barcelona ever.
Yeah, I thought you might be excited about that.
That is awesome if you're a U.S., national.
Yeah, because you're not. I mean, since the heady heights of Boca Negra, the United States haven't really churned out many good defenders. So for him,
it's been mostly attacking players.
Yeah, they like their attacking midfielders, actually. The United States are good at producing that, and a lot of that has to do with athletic funding and college scholarship and things like that. They put a lot of effort into youth systems, as we know, because we cover a lot of American sports, so that kind of lends itself nicely. So I must admit, I am intrigued by the MLS a little bit more. I saw their hilarious penalty shootout the other day involving Orlando, and I was hysterical. So maybe I'll start, because it is actually, I do have it available in my sports package. So maybe we'll start covering it at some point.
Okay, maybe next year.
Might get a few. If there's any Yankees watching this, you patriotic motherfuckers, by the way, happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations. Hopefully,
yes, happy Turkey Day.
Happy Turkey Day, gobble gobble, which I'm sure is what you'll all be doing while you're suckling at the teat of Biden. But come at me, white Republicans. Come at me. I'm ready for you. I've got all the Kevlar in the world for you motherfuckers. Take your best shot. I'm not black enough to be arrested.
Oh, Jesus.
So, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hope you're enjoying yourselves, having a nice turkey, watching me and finger blasting yourself in the bathroom while you cry over the pitiful means that is your wage and Mm.
Next one on that somber note will be
sing with you again.
Juventus and Ferencváros.
Oh, they got lucky here. They got real lucky.
Fucking A, they did.
I say they got lucky. Like, you're very much like the Chelsea and the Sevilla games. Clearly, one team was a better side, but it's another game where these little teams, you just think, oh damn it, you wanted them to get something. Also, I hate Ronaldo. I don't care about all you fucking sweaty marks. I think Ronaldo's a twat. Ronaldo is no question one of the best footballers ever, but he is also a petulant little fucking tard, and he pisses me off. He reminds me of Neymar. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's more interested in being a flamboyant diva and a prostitute banging slag that fucking hides all his tax money somewhere on a Swiss fucking island. He's one of these guys, and forgive me for not being massively appreciative of people like that who are so far above any station I'll ever have the opportunity to afford. So yeah, of course I'm not going to relate to someone like I find it weird. Football fans are like, oh, I relate so much to Ronaldo. Oh yeah, we can all relate to him. Like literally, if I lived a day in Ronaldo's shoes, I would shit my eyeballs out from the large amount of cocaine that I'd done off of about 20 strippers. Mm-hmm. Seriously, my dick would fall off. I'd have like fucking every STI under the sun. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, yeah, fuck him. I don't want him to do well. I do like Morata though.
What's really bad is that Cristiano Ronaldo in a couple of years is going to come to the MLS.
yeah, he is starting.
Him and Messi are going to be in the MLS.
They're going to be both playing for Inter Miami.
Yep. Fucking yep.
Yeah.
One of them. Well, no, one's going to play for Inter Miami. One's going to play for probably LA Galaxy. And then when those two face each other, it'll be like the biggest fucking MLS turnout because everybody wants to see Ronaldo versus Messi.
Yeah. This was the week of heartbreaking last-minute winners, and Devors played such an amazing game in goal for Ferencváros. And also, I have to say, his name is so difficult to pronounce, but Maktach Nguyen, the African lad who was playing, or shall I say, African in obviously appearance, the black lad who was playing up front for Ferencváros was just so good, so creative, and set up Azzurri for a beautiful goal. And you thought, oi. Ironically enough, a guy called Azzurri scoring against the Italians really amused the fuck out of me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ferencváros, it's a shame because after this season, unless they come back or they get, because they are the Hungarian champions, and if they do come back next season, great. But if they don't, you're going to forget about a few of these guys. And if I'm a smaller, lower-end football team, like a high-level championship team, or I'm struggling in a relegation zone, like, if you're a Burnley or something, you've got to look at teams like this and think, that lad's got a lot of talent. He can't be that much to pry away and, join the Premier League, even if it's just for a season or on loan half season. Have a look at this. This is a good breeding ground to have a look for different players, because I'm pretty sure guys like Azzurri and Nguyen don't want to fucking play for, in Hungary for the rest of their lives, albeit a very beautiful country. So, still, Juve win, as they should do.
Still, Juve win.
Bastards.
Weston McKennie makes a start. Another U.S. men's national team.
Woo! Go team.
Right on. Next game.
Gobble, motherfucker.
Manchester United and Istanbul Başakşehir.
Yes. No such luck on the rebound.
Nope. Not even close.
So you say not even close. I'll tell you what, right? United, all the damage was done in the first half an hour. And then after that, Man United started getting a bit comfortable, and it was about a 20-minute spell in the second half where Istanbul just went fucking bananas again, and they were all over, and they pulled a goal back, and then I tell you what, it's one of those games where I was just thinking, okay, game's over, and you're sort of sitting there, you're doing whatever, you're playing a video game, and then you look up and you think, 3-1, that was nice. Turek scored a beautiful free kick, absolutely gorgeous. Edin Visca, when he hit the bar, I was like, fuck! Because that if he scores that, it's 3-2, and with about 10 minutes to go, it's squeaky bum time, and you just know Man United would have shit a brick, and Istanbul Başakşehir. Can you imagine if they'd had, 3,000 or 4,000 fans in the away end? It would have been one of their biggest away days in their club's history, and being able to crack open the flares and scare the living bejesus out of all the fucking tourists of Manchester. It would have been fucking amazing. It would have shit their pants, and I reckon it would have got to Man United. But alas, they got caught on the break again. When you look at the score, 4-1, it's actually a little bit unfair on Başakşehir. Like, I've noticed this with Man United as well. They're running up the score quite late in games. They did that against Leipzig as well. They did the damage. There's no doubt that Man United deserve to win this. I know Man United fans are going to be like, oh, fucking man, we just like your video. I don't give a shit. But at the same time, they run up the score late in games. Nice to see Jones get a goal, obviously. Young lad, do him the world of confidence. I think Greenwood's starting to come along nicely. But the big thing for me was Bruno Fernandes, who I think is their best player. And I've said this countless times. His first goal was fucking amazing. That's the goal of the Champions League so far. It's a screamer. Just caught it square on a half volley. Thunderous strike right into the top corner. It's just sexy goal, It's your Boa-esque. I like those goals. And he was just all over the place. And also, when it came to the penalty, he had an opportunity to get a hat-trick. He gave the penalty to Rashford. And Rashford scored it. Good stuff. And I thought that was really gracious. And then they interviewed him afterwards, right? And there's a guy over here called Jeff Shreves, who is quite literally AIDS. I hate this guy. He's a fucking bellend. I hope you watch this, Jeff Shreves. You're a fucking prick. He works for Sky Sports. And what he is he's one of these interviewers who only asks people questions to upset them or wind them up, Like, oh, did you hear what so-and-so said about... He's that prick in the playground, right? He can't have a fight. So what he does is he goes up to the other kid at school and he's like, so-and-so said that you've got a shitty-looking face. He's like, so-and-so said fucking what? And then he goes and has a go. And then he's just sitting there in the background going, yeah, like some little fucking rat. And he's like trying to wind up Fernandes. He's like, oh, are you not disappointed that you didn't get the hat-trick, Fernandes? Are you not disappointed that why did you give the penalty to Rashford? Oh, why would you do something like that? You lost out on a hat-trick, didn't you, Rashford? And fucking Bruno Fernandes like, shut your fucking mouth, you whore. Like, he just said to him, like, actually, it's because I had the last penalty in the league and I promised Rashford he could have the penalty. And when it comes down to it, the team winning is far more important than me getting a hat-trick. So maybe go fuck yourself, Jeff. Which I just loved it. He was just like, no,
that's fantastic.
Lapped him down. Get out. And that kind of attitude is what's going to help Man United in the long run. They need players like that, humble players. Him and Rashford, how can you dislike them? Lovely guys. More of that, please. Hard-working, highly skilled players who are also very well-grounded. Rashford's done a lot outside of football as well. Bruno Fernandes has clearly got a really nice head. They need a manager who's going to inspire them more. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sits there and, man, looks like he's on suicide watch half the time. Depressed. Just sat there like some little Norwegian fucking... He looks like a gnome, right? And I feel like I should put a fishing rod in his hands and he should just be sat there holding a fishing rod, He's the kind of... He looks like the kind of gnome that somebody will come into accident and emergency in the hospital and say, excuse me, I accidentally sat on this gnome and now it's stuck in my anus. And you know clearly that they've been tickling their own anus with a garden gnome because they're feeling a bit frisky and they want to try something new in their life. And that's what he looks like, a dodgy garden gnome. So, yeah, get rid of him and get Pochettino in.
That's great. Yeah. Solskjaer, he's getting saved by getting these Champions League wins. And right now...
Thrilling 1-0 wins against West Brom.
Yeah, right. Right now, if you look at the table, Manchester United are through. They're top of the table right now, 9 points.
I'll tell you what, if I'm...
But they got PSG...
I want Man United if I am a... if I'm a punter, if I'm Sevilla or something, I'm looking at Man United thinking, please finish first. I want a slice of your ass in a knockout stage. I'll have them, definitely. Sevilla.
PSG and Leipzig are right behind them at 6. So if they can get a result, or if PSG can get a result against United, and Leipzig can get a result against Başakşehir, there goes United.
Yeah, United they've still got it all to do. They've got to beat PSG. Ultimately, they do get to play PSG at home, though, don't they? So
yeah,
that would be the benefit. How many games are left? Just the 1 or 2?
I believe there's 2 left.
Yeah, that makes far sense. Yeah, there is. Yeah, because it's back to back. Yeah.
Yep, back-to-back.
Yeah, the game with PSG is going to be crucial. Man United can't take the foot off the gas, but I think they might just squeeze through. I really hope PSG don't make it. I fucking hate them.
I think PSG just beat Leipzig. Oh, next game.
Next game, yeah. Transition. Yeah, I was furious about this game.
PSG and Leipzig. Fucking
Congratulations, you
Neymar.
cheated your way to a win again. This was a fucking disgrace. And any PSG fans out there, they're going to be, because all they can do really is play FIFA, live in their mum's basements, eat Cheetos, and then fucking sit there and listen to really shit rap music. And then send gifts to each other on the internet going, cry about it. It's like, yeah, I'll cry about it in my lovely house that I own. Go fuck yourself, you little cunt. PSG fans are a joke. Their football team is a joke. They don't play good football. They play, petulant, retarded football. That's what they do. They are so pathetic. Their mentality is just utterly, utterly embarrassing. The way they carried themselves, and that was not a penalty. It's a joke. And the fact that VAR didn't pick it up, that's when I really lost my shit. I really got angry about that. Because there's one thing for them to fucking dive, right, and cheat and get a penalty. VAR is there to get the decision right. And they're like, even the commentator said, that's a bit harsh. VAR should have picked that up. What do you mean should have? It's automatic. It should be looking at it irregardless. That's why VAR is shit. Not because it gets loads of decisions wrong. It fucking misses loads. What's the fucking point? Can you imagine if in the NFL they were like, well, we could go to review, but we can't be asked? No, you have to review it. You have to look at decisions like that. Get the fucking decisions right. And Leipzig, after that, were all over him, battering down the fucking door. Go, open the fucking door, you French bastards. They wouldn't open, and ironically enough, it's the first time I think I've seen a German offence struggle to break down a French wall. So, ultimately,
Nice.
sorry, Leipzig.
That was good.
It was good. I like Leipzig, and I want them to do well. I know that they're not as favourable in Germany because they're the big money team. They're a bit like Man City. They came in with a lot of money, and kind of did things. Germany's very traditional with its football, and it really, you can say Bayern's a big powerhouse and blah, 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 but they earn the right to be there, and they treat their fans with a lot of respect. And a lot of these big teams do. Dortmund are a fine example of that incredible fan base as well. Leipzig not so much, but they play nice football. And I always root for the German teams because they play football the right way. They play it properly. PSG are a bunch of dirty, sweaty, arse-bandit, diving cunts. That's what they are. A bunch of diving little pricks. And Neymar is the worst for it. And frankly, I hope you do get injured again. I never wish injury on anyone, but I hope you do get injured. I really do. I hope you're taking a selfie in your ostentatious mansion and you accidentally chop your penis off with a fucking deli slicer or something. You're a fucking cretin, honestly. Just looking at you makes me want to punch you in the face. You are such a little prick. I do like Angel Di Maria, though, for some reason. I just like it.
Angel Di Maria has always been a good player. He just sucked at United because he had nobody around him to work with.
It's not a fucking penalty. Anyone who tells me that's a penalty is a fucking retard.
It was not a penalty. There was no fucking choice.
Decision. And it costs and if Leipzig don't go through because of that, all hell's going to break.
Well, that's the thing that I've been hearing a lot about is that people are losing hope in Leipzig because they don't have that prominent striker in Timo Werner. Like, they haven't – yes, they lost Werner, but they haven't lost the quality. I mean –
no, they still play the best football.
Poulsen is still –
footballing team.
Right. Angelino and Poulsen are just – they're spot on.
They did very well last season. Don't forget as well, they got afters with PSG because PSG knocked them out in the Champions League last season, when they got to the quarterfinals. It was quite a big deal for Leipzig to do as well as they did. And along with like a team like Atalanta, you kind of root for them because they play nice football despite coming from underneath, phrasing. And, I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed because when PSG do well, they never do well because they play good football. They do well because they fucking manipulate the game so much. And it infuriates me. And I've noticed this. Whenever there's a referee that doesn't tolerate their bullshit and doesn't let them get away with shit, they don't get anything. That happened when they played Man United. They tried to get away with shit. It happened when they played Leipzig in the first game. They tried to get away with shit, couldn't, and they got bitten in the arse for it.
I mean,
UEFA needs to crack down on them instead of wanking themselves silly because they're so desperate because PSG are a marquee club in the they're like the Dallas Cowboys in that respect.
They really are
because they're a huge marquee club, but they don't deserve anybody's respect because they're not a proper footballing team. They're not getting my respect, and I'm not respecting anyone who wins League 1.
5 people from PSG got yellow cards, including Neymar. I didn't happen to see this game. I saw the highlights, but Are any of them going to be missing for the Manchester United game?
No idea. It's a weird one because like I don't hate Man United. I hate PSG, but also I don't root for Man United, so I don't really know what to expect from that game. If I'm being honest, I'd probably prefer if United win because Leipzig have got a better chance of squeezing in second place, by taking advantage of Başakşehir here. And then,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think have they got Başakşehir here next? Have United got PSG next, or have they got them?
They have. Yes, PSG and Man United.
Yeah, so Leipzig have got Başakşehir here next. You'd assume they get a win there. If they get a win there, Man United win. It all goes to that last sort of game. So, yeah, I don't know. Man United have got a tough run in, haven't they? Because they've got to play Leipzig and PSG.
And PSG.
Yeah. It's Man United's to win or lose, isn't it? We'll see what they do.
It's United's to control, and we'll see what happens. But
take one thing from this conversation: it is that Paris can go fuck itself.
Yes,
all of it.
absolutely.
It's a shit by the way. Worst city. It's so overrated. It stinks as well. It smells. Get some deodorant, Paris. It's a fucking joke. Shove your towel up your ass.
That was all of Tuesday's games. Wednesday's games were a little bit more different.
Yeah, the Wednesday night wars.
Borussia Mönchengladbach went over Shakhtar Donetsk. And they didn't just go over them. They went
I believe the correct term is that
they
win against Shakhtar Donetsk. Yes. We don't go over anybody in England, thank you very much. None of that bloody nonsense. You'll learn how to speak properly when you're in the presence of somebody who understands football like me. What a young man. That's my monocle. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, actually. Shakhtar dropped off. They got a fantastic win, didn't they, against Real Madrid. And then they got the draw against Inter Milan. And ever since, they've, rediscovered that they're actually not that good.
Right.
But there's still an opportunity there. They built themselves a good foundation. And at the very least, if I'm Shakhtar, I want to try and force my way into Europa League. So...
Well, as of right now, Shakhtar is in that Europa League spot, but they're only 2 points behind, or Inter is only 2 points behind him.
I thought Inter was ahead of him.
No, Shakhtar is in front of Inter.
Wow. So who's second in this group?
Madrid.
Wait a minute, who's top?
Borussia Mönchengladbach is first.
Oh, right, yeah. For some reason, I thought Club Brugge were in this group, and I got that wrong. Yeah, like, what? What's going on here? Yeah, no, this is...
But Shakhtar is only 3 points behind Madrid, and they've got to face Madrid again.
I got to be honest, Inter Milan looks so poor in the big games. And, and they've got a world-class striker as well, one of the best in the world. But they're just not scoring. They're just not scoring goals in the Champions League.
They're not doing anything in Champions League.
No, I've got to say, Real Madrid look to have sorted themselves out a little bit. But you don't know. Their league form's all up and down. Zidane looks quite shaky. I think he's lost the squad a little bit as well. But this game, by the way, Vidal got sent off for Inter Milan. And I honestly wanted to throw my shoe at the cunt. If I'd been there, I would have ran on the field and slapped him across his ugly little Chilean face. Now, I remember him playing for Bayern Munich, and he was a dickhead then, even though I support Bayern. I like Bayern, and they're probably my German team. But what a fucking prick, honestly. So, first of all, right, he gets booked for essentially being a leery little shit.
Yep.
Okay? So, and bearing in mind, the referee was Anthony Martin.
It was...
Anthony Martin?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
I did have it written down, because I was.
It might be Martin.
I was so hot about this. Yeah, here we are. Anthony Taylor. Excuse me.
Okay. The English.
It's the Premier League referee.
Yeah.
And so Inter immediately surround him, right? And you could clearly see Vidal almost think about going for him. And at that point, he thinks, right, I've already booked you. Fuck you. Have another yellow card. Get off my fucking field. Because the referee should have authority, as I like to say.
Yes.
People should respect the referee's authority. If he makes a
mistake. And they don't.
Fine.
That's the thing. With, the Premier League referees, you don't see respect.
Well, you
If it's
don't
a
see it this
German
bad, though.
referee,
You don't see disrespect this bad. And the fact of the matter is,
yeah,
Vidal goes up to him. He's borderline spitting in his face, and he thinks he can get away with it because he's a high profile. You're 33 years old. Grow the fuck up, you stupid little fucking cunt. You wind me up. You're exactly what's wrong with football, you petulant little fucking twat. You go home to a fucking $2 or $3 million mansion or whatever it might be, but you have the fucking nerve to turn up at a game of football and threaten an official like that. Grow the fuck up. And frankly, that cost your team further. Your team was struggling enough as it was with the quality against Real Madrid, and you turn up and do things like that. You ain't worth your salt. And people can say, "Oh, it's just Latin temper." He does this all the time.
yeah.
How long are we going to let petulant twats like him, like Neymar, like Mbappe, like Ronaldo, just ruin the game of football by being so fucking disrespectful? The referee stood his ground. I think Anthony Taylor deserves a lot of love. We never ever say to referees, well done, you had a good game. He had an excellent game. He got the decisions right, and frankly, he wasn't fucking overhauled, and he would not allow them to bully him. That's basically what they were doing. You're not fucking tough. 6 or 7 of you surrounding one fucking referee thinking you're hard. Fuck you, Inter Milan. You don't deserve fuck all. I hope you do finish bottom of this group, you sweaty twats. Fuck yous.
What's really bad?
Grow the fuck up.
What's really sad about Inter Milan is some of their guys on their team. I really like them.
Not as good as when they had Figo, mate. That's when they were a proper football team. Bollocks to them. Bollocks to them.
Yeah,
all these
Vidal.
prima donna pricks. This is the problem in Champions League. As great as it is, and it is no doubt the best knockout tournament in the world, other than the FA Cup, obviously, which is fucking amazing.
Right.
But it's full of these fucking diva. Look at the teams that win. Look at the teams that consistently win. Look at how Bayern Munich won last year. I don't recall their players doing stupid shit like this. Discipline,
Not even close.
Respect for the game of football. The art of what football is what will win you. That's why people like watching teams like them. That's why I'd much rather watch a Salzburg or a Club Brugge over Inter Milan any day, because they're fucking happy to be there and they show respect to the fucking football ground and the people that came before them. These pricks like Vidal, honestly, spoiled little fucking petulant children. Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck off my TV screen, you fucking whore.
Well said. By the way, the transition, Madrid ended up beating Inter 2-0. Eden Hazard with a nice penalty.
Oh, by the way, Vidal, right, his argument was that it was a penalty. He fucking kicked Varane and fell over. Like, you could see on the replay, it's clearly not a penalty, okay?
Yeah.
Like, he fell over himself, basically, and he has the nerve to threaten to assault an official for that. You fucking cheese monkey. Go fuck yourself. You absolute wank pheasant.
We'll go to another English team, Manchester City, squeaking out a win against Olympiacos.
Yeah, unless you'd actually seen the game, which I did, and it was so one-sided, it was laughable. Honestly, the only reason they didn't score, by the way, Gundogan, why does he look like a very dirty Mexican chauffeur? I don't get that. Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's not a racial thing. It might be. I don't know. I love Mexico and I love their culture, but he does. He looks like the kind of geezer who should. If you've ever been on holiday, if you've ever had a suspect-looking drunk Latin man approach you in his middle age, that's what Gundogan looks like, and he looks like the kind of geezer who's lost his donkey. And he kept missing chances. I was like, for fuck's sake, just put the ball in the back of the net, you cunt. By the way, Foden was fantastic in this game, and I think it's a better rate. He was fantastic. It is Olympiacos though, but Man City, they came up. It's tough losing to a team like Spurs. That would have really hurt their title chances, okay? And it would have dented their confidence. And this was a game where you thought, right, get your confidence back. Man City were playing some gorgeous football. Raheem Sterling and Foden were linking up so well. Gabriel Jesus brings so much quality to this team that they need. They need more players like him. That's what they need.
Do you think that Gabriel Jesus will make way for Aguero to leave? Do you think Aguero should be on his way out rather than...
I think if there's still good money available for Aguero, if there's like an Atletico Madrid or whoever who's willing to pay upwards of 50, 60 million for a player of that quality, I think you turf him while you have the opportunity, because I think he's starting to slow down a little bit. I still think he's excellent. I think he's still one of the best poachers in the league. But, we've seen more players coming through. For instance, put your stock in someone like Timo Werner. Put your money and stock in Son and Kane. Guys who have still got,
yes,
Son especially.
Oh
Um,
fuck yeah.
but then, Aguero's had his career. He's done amazingly well. He's pretty much won everything there is to win, other than obviously the Champions League. So, you'd like to see him win that. But Gabriel Jesus is a good player. He's athletic, he's exciting, and he does a lot of jobs as well. And more than ever nowadays, a athlete, a footballer, any kind of sports star needs to be able to be, a dual threat. You can't just turn up. Long gone are the days of Alan Shearer where you just stand in the box and nut the ball into, just fucking nut it in the back of the net and all that. You need someone a little bit more than a poacher. Even Lewandowski, people were like, "Oh, Lewandowski's this amazing poacher of a play." Yeah, absolutely he is, and that's predominantly his skill. But he's got so many skill sets. He lays the ball off. He can cross the ball. He can do all kinds of things. He can play number 10. He can play number 9. He's that kind of player.
Yes.
And you need to be able to do that in the modern game. It's the same with the NFL. More and more we see running backs catching the ball, playing at wideout positions, coming back in. You've got to be a hybrid athlete. You've got to be able to do a lot. Same with basketball as well. You look at every major sport in the world, all these players, they can do different things. This ain't swimming where you've got one fucking job.
Right.
Which is to stay afloat.
I mean, looking at the table for this one, it's pretty much Group C is pretty much, mark it down. It's City and Porto.
Oh, yeah, no question. Olympiacos never looked like they were going to. I think they had like one half decent chance in the second half.
Well, it's really bad.
But they're that kind of team. If they don't take their one chance, they're fucked.
Olympiacos right now is third place, so they could get into the Europa League.
With good reason. Have you seen the other team? That's
Marseille.
They're the worst team in the world right now. They are literally the New York Jets of fucking European football.
I mean, they haven't won they have no point.
And even they've got one very talented coloured player like Frank Gore in Dimitri Payet, but for some reason he can't produce nearly as well as Frank can. Leave it, Payet. Leave it. Let's talk. Fucking Man City beat Olympiacos. Congratulations. Marseille lost, right, to Porto. That's not a surprise. The fact that they lost and bent over the way they did. By the way, that's I believe that's 13 straight games they've lost in the Champions League. 13 straight. Yeah, and you've played Olympiacos in that time, lads. Awkward. Payet comes on, doesn't do fuck all. I remember a day when he was at West Ham, and he had about 6 or 7 games where he looked like the second coming of Maradona. Rest his soul. And then he just kind of became too big for his boots, as all these footballers do. And he went, "Oh, I want the more money. So what I want the more money. The more money. I want more garlic baguettes in my inners." So he gets all fucking excited and he fucks off to France. And now you're doing nothing and you're playing for Marseille.
Well, the sad thing...
Dennis Boas, yeah? Remember him? Yeah, but
yeah.
Very fondly. What a manager. He was
great
good in the Premier League. He had some quality to him and some tactics. And he goes to fucking Marseille and it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're a joke. Get out of my sight, Marseille. You offend me with your rubbish football and your rubbish stadium and your rubbish people. You smell. I hate you. What is it with the French teams right now?
I don't know, man. Fucking
Rennes is now my favourite team. At least they fucking try. And then they don't stink like the other two. Fuck off Paris and Marseille. Get out. Get out of my sight. You're banned. You're on my shit list.
I just... Marseille were so good in the past.
Yeah, in the past.
Them and Lyon.
Like back in the good old days of World War II, Marseille were a real powerhouse, mate.
Well, in the past few years, you would always hear PSG, Lyon, and Marseille.
Yeah, and they were always third in that equation. They've never been a huge team. They haven't. And honestly, if you ask French football aficionados, of which there aren't many, because ultimately it's France, innit? And they haven't been really that relevant since fucking... I know they won the World Cup and they're all going to fucking come for me. But we won the World Cup. Fuck off, you Philistine. I fart in your general direction, you filthy English bastard. Yeah, you fucking... I don't care.
Congratulations, you guys won the World Cup against who again? Croatia?
Yeah. Hey, Croatia knocked out England. Shut your whole mouth.
Exactly.
How did the United States do at the World Cup? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Just know your role and shut your whole mouth. And also, England getting semis was actually quite an achievement.
Oh, yeah. I am a closet England fan, obviously.
That's not going. Yeah, my nationality of Egypt, right? I watched them lose 2-1 to Saudi Arabia. So... they were the worst team in the World Cup. Saudi Arabia were officially ranked the worst team in the World Cup, and they beat Egypt. That shows you how shit Egypt were at that
Well,
World
that
Cup.
was also because Salah wasn't playing in the World Cup,
No,
right?
he played. He was
Oh,
injured.
did he?
Yeah, he came back from injury because that was the season where he got injured in the Champions League final against
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
I
Because
thought he
Sergio
was.
Ramos is a dirty bastard.
Hmm.
And then, ultimately, he kind of came back semi-fit for the World Cup, but he looked, a couple of yards off his normal pace. And and even then, when the only player you've got to pass the ball to you is El Neni or Mohamed, El Mohammedi, whatever. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
At least we got to the World Cup, which is an achievement for us. In
Right.
its own. It's not
Another game we've got going for the Champions League as we move on. Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, next. I watched this. This was fucking tedious. Nothing happened. Nothing. Oh, my Lord. This was just like, it's really sad as well because Moscow had a couple of very decent half chances. If Moscow had won, I think they would have gone through. But they would have had.
If Moscow would have won, they would have. They're only 2 points behind Madrid.
Yeah, like if they had won, I think they would have got very close to. They would have stolen a. It's just man.
They for sure would have stolen some points. And
and you just
nobody expected that one.
They had an opportunity here to actually steal Madrid's spot from them, and they got close. But Lokomotiv Moscow are playing some really good football in this little group, and people aren't paying attention to them because, of course, it's got fucking Bayern and Salzburg and Atletico Madrid. They're funny because they're doing really well in the league right now. They're second and they're right up sociopath's anus. But when it comes to the Champions League, they just don't look like they got the quality. And obviously, Luis Suarez is too busy trying to bite every fucking hooker he sees in sight. So,
Oh, Luis Suarez.
No, it's boring, 0-0. There's not much I could tell you about it.
Yeah, there's not much anything. Munich 3-1 over Salzburg.
Good game, really good game. I'll tell you what, mate. Red Bull Salzburg. If there's a team that I'll have a lot of love for, and obviously I love Bayern. I watch every one of Bayern's games live. I watch them in full, and I got to admit, I came away from this wanting to go to Salzburg and support them because I was so proud of their effort. They didn't come in and try and fucking, park the bus. They didn't try and fucking be pathetic or hack or dive or anything like that. They just came in and thought, do you know what? We're going to try and play our asses off. We're going to play hard, good football and see how we do. And they did really well. You'll see the result and you think, classic Bayern, just ran them up. Salzburg had a lot of good chances in this game to get back into it. And it very much reminded me of the Man United game in a lot of ways. Of obviously, Bayern did damage when it was necessary. But Kingsley Coman, by the way, is just so good. Even when he doesn't score, he's so fucking good, that kid. Like, I reckon he could end up being one of the best players in the world when it's all said and done. I really do. Because people like Messi and Ronaldo are going to start winding down. And I think this Bayern team is where you're going to look for the big stars. They've got, for my money, the most potent striker in the world in Lewandowski. I think Kane is a slightly more skillful player at times, but I think Lewandowski is a much better goal scorer than Kane. I just believe that. I actually think Son is a better goal scorer than Kane. I think Kane is just a more complete player. But yeah, I look at this Bayern Munich team and I'm proud of their efforts. I like them. Anyone who's a neutral should be watching Bayern Munich because that's where the real good football is at, not Barcelona. Fuck off. Not, Barcelona be,
not Madrid.
Yeah, no, go and watch Bayern Munich. It was a good result though. And they've got great players, but credit needs to be said about Salzburg, I think, because let's be honest, no other podcast is going to talk about how well they did. They played a really tough game against, let's be honest, the best team in the world.
Yes.
Zabozli, I think his name is, who plays up front for Salzburg, had a golden chance to make it 1-0, 1-on-1 with a keeper. But this is Bayern's 15th straight win in the Champions League, and you can see why. They're just so much better than everybody else. You have to put your money on them scoring. Lewandowski obviously pounces on the rebound from Müller. Great goal for him. Kingsley Coman, like I said, makes room, gets a shot off, and then it deflected past the keeper, and that was harsh because at the time Salzburg were really playing really hard. That 2-0, you're thinking that kind of sticks a knife in him a little bit, and you think, oh. Then Rocker gets sent off for stamping on matey's foot twice. I was like, mate, you did it once and you got a yellow, and he just goes and does it again, like about 10 minutes later. Like, for fuck's sake, man! Like, he was going for the ball, to his credit, but he was just clumsy. He was like that big oaf in the shopping centre who steps on your foot, and you're like, "You're on my foot, fat shit!" Like, just like, what are you doing? Like, it's just some random fat guy who just doesn't know where the fuck. It's like watching a really bad episode of fucking Dancing with the Stars or Strictly Come Dancing, as we call it over here. Like, it's just, 2 left feet, the poor bastard. Beresha got a lovely goal as well off a cross from Christensen, who looks like a real player. There's some talent in the Salzburg team, and I'd like to see them, if they don't get poached, good, because I don't like the idea of these small teams getting pilfered and they're just becoming nothing. I don't want to see, Man United and Chelsea and Tottenham and even smaller teams in the Premier League just raid them of all their good players, so they're just left with nothing. I want them to do well and apply themselves well. But there's some really good talent on this Salzburg team. They're a really good side.
And they're only 2 points out of the third place.
Yeah, I tell you what, if they can get in Europa League, I quite fancy them getting to quarterfinals or semi-finals. I like their football team. I really do. I think they've got quality, this football team. So, yeah.
I mean, Salzburg's next game is Lokomotiv Moscow. They win that one, they're up
Tough
at
game,
4. They're at 4 points then. And then at the end of
Moscow are creeping up Atletico Madrid's anus. So
exactly.
they've got to win that. And obviously, Madrid have got Bayern.
And then, of course, no. Madrid doesn't have Bayern.
They've got to play them eventually, surely. So they've got to play them. They've only played them once.
They play them next week.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
My bad. Fuck off.
Yeah, so
and then
Bayern beat Atletico Madrid, right? And Lokomotiv Moscow win. All of a sudden, Lokomotiv Moscow leap in the second place. And you think, oh, look out. Right. And Atletico Madrid are thinking, what happened? We just got thumbed up the arse by a bottle of vodka.
And then Atletico Madrid, the final week, has to face Salzburg.
Exactly. But it's a difficult one because I really want to see Atletico Madrid drop out of the top 2 because they're greasy. And I want to see Moscow or Salzburg steal it. But Salzburg likely aren't going to. They just, they'd have to win both of their remaining games and then hope for weird results elsewhere. And that's not going to happen. So the best they can do is third. So ideally, it's catch-22. You got no choice. You either want Moscow to win and leapfrog Atletico Madrid, who hopefully will lose to Bayern quite heavily, or basically what you want is Atletico Madrid to get humped by Bayern. Big old goal difference. Lokomotiv Moscow beat Salzburg. Salzburg, oh man, that's third place out of the running. Or is it? Because if they can wallop Atletico Madrid, they might just leapfrog.
That's what I'm saying. And Atletico Madrid could go.
It's the ultimate dream scenario, and it will require the Hail Mary of a miracle, but we live in hope because
find Kyler Murray, he can do it.
Kyler Murray steps into the fold to play it up front for Salzburg, mate.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
He's good enough athlete to do that.
The last 2 games were, I would say, shocks, but not really. Ajax, of course, beating Midtjylland 3-1.
You call that a shock?
No, I call it a shock because...
What, because Midtjylland scored?
Well, Ajax is right now, if you look at the table, Ajax is only up or is only second place because of their goal difference on Atalanta.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if they drop into the fucking Europa League, they'll win it.
Yeah, Ajax.
Put your money on Ajax to win Europa League if they drop in. This is actually turning out to be quite lively because after the last round of fixtures, you would have thought, cool, blimey, Liverpool ran over Atalanta, but then Atalanta had 20 minutes at the end when they should have scored 4 goals. It was a very weird game. And I remember saying after that review, and you can go back and listen to it, I remember saying if Atalanta can harness that kind of quality of football for a whole game, they could easily beat a team like Liverpool. And look what fucking happened. They fucking rolled into Anfield. But by the way, congratulations, I actually beat the fucking, the Lego boys. Nobody cares.
Right.
Sorry.
Now we go to the main game.
Dusan Tadic, by the way, makes me horny. I would absolutely fuck me, he's so good.
Yes.
But ultimately, yeah, this all comes down to the final one, which is funny actually because you left Liverpool till last before as well. So I reckon you got a secret chubby for Liverpool. But
I like Liverpool. I do. I
you're
like
the
Liverpool.
only Chelsea fan I've ever heard say that. And frankly, if anyone from Stamford Bridge heard you say that, they would revoke your fucking fandom immediately. That would be like me going, do you know what? I don't mind Grimsby Town. I mean, you know, every time I go to their stadium, I call them a bunch of fish interfering rapist cunts. But at the same time, you know, I don't mind.
I can't help but
Saying,
not like
saying,
Mo
like, I
Salah.
don't mind Grimsby. It's like saying, oh, I don't mind a bit of sodomy, you know? I don't mind being violated in an alley, you know? Like, what?
Like I
It's just,
can't not like Mo Salah.
well,
Eh,
obviously. He's the Egyptian king.
well, and the other thing that it
He
just
will
irks me
officially
that
be buried in a fucking pyramid. I
oh
can't
yeah,
wait.
he'll be
That
in
will
a
be a
sarcophagi.
special day. Like Maradona, right? Passing on. No doubt he was buried in a bed of cocaine. No question. Like, I dread to think how much snuff was, because you're allowed to take things into the afterlife with you if you believe in all that stuff. And I can just see Maradona's coffin loaded to the gills with cocaine. Like, so he just tips up at the pearly gates, and God is like, Maradona, my son, you used my hand to beat England once in the World Cup, and now you are here at the pearly gates. And he's like, oh, that's some fucking good shit. Just like getting fucking off his tits. He's trying to snort the clouds because he thinks they go, oh yeah. It's like Maradona, Diego. He's like not paying
Diego,
attention
no,
to God
no,
at all.
leave the
No,
clouds alone, Diego.
no, exactly. He's like, stop snorting all the clouds. We need to stand on those. That's where we live. So yeah, God rest your soul, brother. I love as well how the English, right? This is how bitter the English are, because obviously, now let's not forget that Maradona ran rampant over England in that game, and I know
Yes.
the famous goal where he handballed over Peter Shield. Everybody remembers it. Cretin. So the English are like, God rest his soul. The cheating shitbag, God rest his soul. You cheating cunt, God rest your soul. You fucking arsehole, God rest your soul. It's such an English thing. Like, oh my God, it's such a tragedy. But you're still handballed it, you cheating cunt. Like, I guarantee the Irish will be like that about Thierry Henry when he passes on. They'll be like, Thierry Henry, he was the greatest footballer of all time, but he's still a fucking cheating bastard. Just like they're going to be all over it. You're fucking still handballed and stopped us from getting to the World Cup. So fuck yourself, Henry. Fuck yourself, but rest in peace. Rest in peace, my boy. But fuck yourself. It's just that's football in a nutshell. We're so
It
tribal.
is. That is
so
great.
tribal, especially in Europe. And that's what you Americans are missing, right? God bless. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, America, soccer and all that. I do, but I actually am glad that they play football because it's a really good sport for your kids to get into. It's a great sport for people to play. It's an international language. It's not a European language. Europeans are sorting themselves about, we run football. And even I'm a little bit like it. We are very elitist about our football. But, football is a sport that anyone can play and everyone should be allowed to play. Women, kids, the whole lot. And that includes America, as much as a lot of you hate it. So let America play their little football and leave them alone. But yeah, you just got, more flares. That's what you need. You need flares. You need more football violence. You need more drinking culture as well.
No. Our biggest thing.
You need pubs. Pubs is what you need. However, we need a complete ban on guns during football games because I know what you like. Because we get drunk, right? And we're like, do you know what? Barry said some shit about me, so I'm going to go outside and give him a good fucking pasting up against the wall. Yeah, fucking do him. Go on, fucking do him. In America, you'd be like, what you fucking say, motherfucker? Like, no. It's a game of football. Like, use your fists, Luke. It's just,
fuck.
he's up, Chad. He's up. But yeah. Anyway, Liverpool and Atalanta. Yeah, Atalanta beat Liverpool 2-0, and I was really happy about this. I don't hate Liverpool. I like Liverpool. They're a good football team for the neutrals to watch. And they had a great win against Leicester, and you thought, God, they're going to come into this game feeling confident. Atalanta played the better game of football, and they exposed Liverpool's back line, which is something a lot of teams can't do. Liverpool, if they can't score, are in big trouble. And this is what Atalanta did. They stifled them up front. Mohamed Salah, frankly, was castrated during this game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Gomez, mate. I actually think he's one of the world's better players. I genuinely think that Atalanta has in him a world-class player. Do you see his crossing abilities? He can honestly, right? He could piss on a fucking penny. That's how fucking talented he is. He's so accurate, mate. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. Just call the guy a dead shot and be done with it. He's so good. His crosses are insane. And he just gets everywhere. He's got great pace, great technique, ball control and ball retention as well. Not letting the ball get away from your feet. He's so good at that. It's like it's stuck to him, honestly. He's the kind of geezer who could you couldn't mark him in a phone box. That's how fucking good he is. Like, he's just such a special little talent. And he just ran rampant over Liverpool. They couldn't control him, and they had really high quality finishing football. And that's what done them over in this game. I actually really enjoyed this game. This was one of my favourite games in the entire week. I lost all my notes. I like Ilicic as well. Really good player.
Yes.
I love Atalanta. I've said this. I've got a massive chubby on for Atalanta. They're kind of like, there's a little part of me that just wants them to do well. I'm desperate for them to have a good run. They're definitely, if I have to pick it, I don't have an Italian team actually, so I'll probably pick Atalanta just because I love their fan bases. Like I said before, there's a great documentary about their fans and what they did for the football club and how historic actually their ultras are. Check that out on YouTube. That is so cool. Just put in Atalanta ultras, you'll find it beautiful. It's about half an hour documentary. You'll need subtitles, but it's honestly worth it. It's a masterpiece, that documentary. It really is. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a phenomenal watch on the history of Atalanta and their fans and what they mean to the club. But how can you not be impressed with the way they play? Papu Gomez is fucking fantastic. Mark my words, Papu Gomez, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting poached by a Barca or a Real Madrid. I think he's that good. Do you know, he reminds me of Coutinho. And I think he could end up, filling the same kind of role that Coutinho did. I wouldn't be surprised to see Papu Gomez playing for a Bayern or a Barca. It would be nice to see him in the Premier League, actually, but I've noticed a lot of these players tend to avoid the Premier League because of the physicality. Because you get chopped down a lot more over it. There's a lot more shit kicking, There's not exactly a Burnley or a fucking Crystal Palace away in Spain, is there?
No.
Nobody wakes up and, oh God, we've got Granada this week. They're going to kick the shite out of us. That doesn't happen abroad.
Nope.
Not nearly as much, So unless you're playing, the Russian leagues or whatever. If you do not play football, I shoot your family. That's just hi, Roman. I'm not sure I prefer more Roman Reigns or Roman Abramovich, but God rest his soul when he eventually dies of massive oil overdose. But yeah, Liverpool lost. But I'm not going to push the panic button. That's what everyone does. As soon as Liverpool lose, everyone's like, big red button, keep pushing it. It's like Donald Trump has access to a nuke. It's like, just calm down, it'll be fine. But I've got my eyes on Atalanta now, and I want to see them do well. Atalanta have still got to play Ajax, I think, again, and I am very excited about that because that is like the purest football game. Those two are just gonna that for me is how I imagine the perfect game of FIFA.
That's going to make or break who's going to be second and who's going to be third.
It's going to be a sexy game of football, and that is actually the game that doesn't matter who else I support, I must watch that game of football. That is the one I've earmarked, is those two in the rematch, because I like that game. I love that. I think those are the two teams that people should be rooting for. If you love pure football, pure honest football, you cannot go wrong with Atalanta and Ajax.
The next games for Ajax and Liverpool plays Ajax next.
Yeah, that's
and Atalanta plays Midtjylland.
But it is at Liverpool, isn't it? And obviously Liverpool beat Ajax. But that being said, Liverpool beat Atalanta 5-0 in Atalanta and then lost at home. So that doesn't mean anything. And a lot of that has to do with this COVID-19 nonsense, not having fans in. It takes away that advantage, especially the home team's advantage. We've seen, let's be honest, if Krasnodar had a bit of quality, I reckon they'd be one of the more dangerous teams in this goddamn fucking league, because they one of the few teams that have got fans at home. They take advantage of that. But I just don't. I think the playing field's a lot more level this year. And it's quite exciting, actually. I mean, the only thing you can really say is a proper constant in the Champions League is that Bayern are just fucking taking a piss, as per usual.
Oh, yeah. Bayern's
they're obviously favourites, So Bayern versus Sevilla in a rematch from the Super Cup in the final, I reckon.
I mean, right now, the only team, Barca, Bayern, and Manchester City are the only teams that have not lost.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Barcelona might be the worst team I've seen that haven't lost a game. They look so suspect. And when they play a good team, they're going to be in trouble. A team
Yeah.
like Bayern Munich will open them up again. They shall expose their rectums, and they shall bleed them of their chorizos. I do love throwing out the old stereotypes.
About 6 hours ago,
Mm.
Liverpool are being told that they might play FC Midtjylland in Dortmund due to the UK's travel restrictions.
Yeah, because we're in lockdown right now. That ends on December the 2nd, which I believe is after that game.
December the 2nd. They play December the 1st in Liverpool.
Fucking go figure. The day before lockdown's supposed to end.
Yeah.
Or is it December the 5th? I can't remember. Anyway, it's very early December. We went into lockdown November the 5th on fireworks night, of all things, you fucking cretins. Yeah, like I don't think that makes a great deal of difference, to be honest. If if it's in Dortmund Stadium, good for Majiti, then they get to play in another big stadium. So
Yeah,
whatever,
But yeah, that's
sell some Lego, mate, make some money, and get out of Dodge. Nice bacon.
Next week's games are looking pretty solid.
Pretty tasty.
Of course,
good soccer, man, on the docket, man.
Wednesday, December 2nd.
This ain't a preview show, is it? What are we going on about next week?
Oh, I'm just saying next week it's going to be us against each other.
As the old meme goes with Jim Harbaugh, prepare Uranus. I can't wait. This is going to be naughty. You're coming to our gaff now. There's nowhere to hide. You're lucky. You're so lucky there aren't fans, because you'd be throwing celery, we'd be throwing flares, mate. Tell you what, we'd set the away end on fire. All your fans would burn alive. Oh, yes. And then they keep burning because they're made of oil, so...
Oh, jeez.
Cut the button.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
I might live stream that. I might live stream that.
You're gonna live stream
you know what we should do? We should fucking both sit down and live stream that. I don't know what it'll be on over there. Some Fox Sports or Bane.
Yeah,
Sports.
probably Fox Sports.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick my fucking feet up and I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna stream that and I'm gonna fucking get real liquored up and real rowdy for that shit.
I've got to see
all the fire detectors.
3:00 on Wednesday.
3:00.
Yeah, 3:00 my time on Wednesday.
3:00 my time, baby. There you go. If you want to watch two people scream at each other or not. If you want to watch Jeremy Miller's anus get thoroughly violated in a cyber fashion, that will be the chance to watch it. Because I don't care if Sevilla lose 5-0. I'm just going to fucking verbally rape him.
And I would be wearing...
I'm going to drink so much rum.
Every stitch of Chelsea clothing I've got.
I can guarantee I've got more. I'm going to turn this house into a fucking crimson shadow. It's going to be... I'm going to spray paint Sevilla's badge on the front of the house.
I think the missus might be pissed about that.
Yeah, she'll be right. She'll deal with it.
All right, folks. That was it. If you enjoyed this, please...
How about you, Days?
Subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us if we're doing good. Tell us if you think we suck. I don't care.
If you think we suck, fuck you.
I just want some comments, people. We need some feedback.
What are you talking about? Some fucking Russian porn bot keeps commenting, though. That's all
we
I need.
don't need Russian porn anymore.
No, I told you, mate. The Russians are onto us. Roman Abramovich is watching, so he's like, that fucking bearded prick from England talks shit about me again. I fucking slap him with massive oil dick. I use him to clean up oil like Penguin. He piece of shit. Fucking terrorist Arab cunt.
Why is it gotta be a penguin?
He's what?
That's why
when oil slicks happen, penguins and birds get fucking covered in oil. It's a tragedy, mate.
It is a tragedy.
Yeah, and it's all fucking Roman's fault for digging for oil. The fucking fat, swollen Russian prick. Please don't poison my my sushi with polonium. That's what you'll do. Like, send uranium around to prick's house. I make sure that he not wake up tomorrow morning. If he does, he'll look green and ill like chemo.
All right, folks.
Fuck you, Roman Abramovich. Fuck you. And if I die very soon, you know exactly who to go to. Roman Abramovich killed me.
Roman Abramovich
He
killed.
did. He shoved polonium up my bumhole while I was having a shit. Some Russian sleeper agent snuck up through the toilet and shoved the uranium rod up my anus, and that gave me fucking cancer, and I died. That's how I died, ladies and gentlemen. Find Roman Abramovich and avenge my death. Avenge me. Fulham fans, unite. Like Avengers Assemble. I want to see every Fulham fan with a shield and a white wall just turn up at Stamford Bridge and batter down. Exactly. Fulham, assemble.
Oh, dear Jesus.
The white wall of Fulham. All 4,000 of their fans. Fucking rock up and shatter the shed in my honour, lads. Do it.
Oh,
Have a
my
shit in the
God.
fucking shed. Chelsea, wherever you may be, your owner's got HIV.
Oh, wow.
Fuck you, Roman. Fuck you.
All right, folks. You have a great,
You're right, though,
happy
Frank. I like you.
Thanksgiving, and enjoy. Don't eat too much damn turkey.
Yeah, they won't watch this anyway, so
I know.
eat plenty of turkey. Plus, you're American, you're fat, so just eat as much turkey as you can. Right, and hey, I'm basically mostly American at this point as well. My
Yeah,
midsection
you're
is
fucking
definitely
turkey.
American.
Where's your fucking turkey?
Where's my turkey?
Yeah, where's your fucking turkey?
I mean, turkeys are hard to come by at this time of year.
Oh, is it?
Everyone keeps them for fucking Christmas, don't they? So,
Oh, that makes sense.
so we don't have a Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right.
No, because we're not thankful.
All
Which is miserable.
right,
Plus,
everybody.
Thanksgiving is a celebration of us, again being pricks. So, like Plymouth Rock landed on us, motherfucker. Plus the original Plymouth's over here and all. So stop stealing everybody's fucking names. Get your own.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great night.
Country's like 100 years